Buenos tardes. Good afternoon, guys. My name is Marcus, and I'm a lecturer at the Department of Nutrition at Chicago University. A couple of weeks ago, we got a chance to talk about some of the food processing technology, such as pulse electric fields. Today, we're going to cover a totally different topic. We're going to talk about functional foods. So that's the major topic we're going to cover today. Functional foods is actually an umbrella term that will cover a whole range of foods that will provide additional benefits for human health. So let's take a look together, guys. So first of all, we're going to cover the concept of functional foods. Let's take a look at how they define the functional foods. So you can see that functional foods could actually include a whole range of different food items. So it could be whole foods, which are foods in their natural forms, and also it could be fortified or enriched or enhanced foods, which are pretty much either produced or processed by human beings. And also they can contain dietary ingredients or components that can help reduce the risk or certain types of diseases. At the end of the day, it can provide you more benefits beyond the traditional nutrients it contains. So it's very beneficial for human health. When you take a look at some of the official definition for the functional foods, you can see that, for example, with American Dietetic Association, they have a very similar definition for the functional foods. So you can see that they mention pretty much everything we talked about earlier, plus they mention that it can be consumed as part of a varied diet on a regular basis at effective levels. So it's basically recommended for human consumption. And when you take a look at the classification of the functional foods by ADA, you can see that they're classified into 4 categories. Conventional foods, which is food in their natural forms. Modified foods, which include the fortified foods you guys can get in the supermarket. And also medical foods for special medical usage. And the last one for special dietary uses. So those are the 4 major types of food we're going to discuss today. The first category is the basic or the most common one, which is called conventional foods, which are pretty much the food items you can buy in their natural form. The most common types you guys can get are fruits and vegetables, because they are normally rich in various types of nutrients. In this case, more and more fruits and vegetables contain phytochemicals, which include things such as lycopene and lutein. Now, these are very common types of carotenoids, which are very strong antioxidants, so they can provide various types of health benefits for humans. For example, with lycopene, it can reduce the chance of having prostate cancer for men, and for lutein, it can improve your vision. So you can see that these types of fruits and vegetables, they can provide humans with additional health benefits. So the second type is also very interesting to discuss, because they're not the natural food items. They're food items manufactured or processed by us. So you can see that modified foods or fortified foods are mostly enriched, fortified, or enhanced with certain types of nutrients to improve the nutritional value of this food. So let's take a look at some of the examples. So let's take a look at some of the very common examples. You can find calcium-fortified orange juice, or folic acid-enriched bread items, and also plant sterol-fortified margarines. We're going to give you the pictures in the next slide so you can take a look. Additionally, energy drinks with certain types of herbs, such as ginseng and guarana, as well as other potentially controversial foods, also fall into this category. So you can see that with the fortified foods, there are so many different types. So here on this slide, you can see some of the examples we mentioned previously. You can see that orange juice can include calcium inside to help boost the bone function of humans. Over here on this side, you can see a tablespoon or margarine fortified with plant sterol. In this case, it can help reduce the cholesterol levels for humans. So it's pretty natural and also helps you to reduce your cholesterol level at the end of the day by simply using a very small amount daily. And also on the right-hand side, you can see the fortified milk, which you can fortify with various types of vitamins to provide additional help by consuming milk every day. The third category is actually medical foods. Medical foods are not for everyday use, obviously. It's basically food that are only supplied to patients or consumed by patients under the supervision of a doctor. Say, for example, if you had a certain medical surgery and then you cannot consume food regularly like other people, the doctor will give you certain types of medical foods to provide enough nutrients to the full recovery. So the third type, medical foods, is a very selected type and is a very small amount. The last one is also a very specific type. It's called food for special dietary use. This one is similar to medical foods, but they require less regulation because they are available commercially. So it doesn't require the supervision of a healthcare provider. So you can actually buy them from either pharmacies or stores. These conditions could be due to illness, pregnancy, and lactation, or being overweight, or being sensitive to allergic to certain types of foods. So if you have special dietary needs for either gluten-free or sugar-free foods, you can take a look at this type. So you can see that these are some of the general trends or categorization for the functional foods. So let's take a look at some of the examples together. So first of all, we're going to take a look at the natural food types, which are pretty common to see. So first of all, let's take a look at blueberries, which is a very common fruit type. Blueberries are very yummy, and also you can buy them every day from the supermarket. But let's take a look at what kind of nutrients it will provide, what kind of health benefits we can get out of it at the end of the day. So let's take a look at the nutrients blueberries can contain. They normally contain anthocyanins, which is a very typical type of flavonoid, and also they contain various types of antioxidant pigments, which are pretty much the coloring of the blueberries, and also they have various types of phytochemicals that can reduce the risk of some diseases, including inflammation and certain types of cancers. So if you consume blueberries in the long term, you can reduce the risk of getting these types of diseases. As you can see that inflammation is the common mechanism that will lead to various types of cardiovascular diseases. And also you can see that cancers would develop not in 1 or 2 days, but it takes 10 decades and more years to develop. So if you consume blueberries on a daily basis, it will help you in the long run. There are also many other research results that show more benefits from blueberries. Let's take a look together. So here, some of the latest research have shown that blueberries, anthocyanins, proanthocyanins, and flavonoids, as well as the tannins, could inhibit mechanisms of cancer cell development and inflammation in vitro. So they have found more beneficial ingredients within the blueberries that can actually provide these effects. And the mechanisms are discussed very much in detail. So as time goes by, we could understand more about how the blueberries could actually reduce the risk for having certain types of cancers, which is great. And also, the research for blueberries have also focus on other areas as well. In this one specific study, they showed that by consuming blueberries, it can potentially alleviate the cognitive decline occurring in patients with Alzheimer's disease and other conditions of aging. As you guys may realize that as people age, Alzheimer's is becoming more and more popular among aged population worldwide. So if you realize that one day if someone's old and cannot remember something or get lost in the road, it's probably due to the Alzheimer's. And based on this research, we could possibly see that blueberries can be used in the future, or more research can be done for blueberries so we can possibly conquer or find a solution for Alzheimer's prevention and treatment. So that's something really promising down the road in the future. And also they have some further research done for blueberries. In the USDA Human Nutrition Research Center, neuroscientists discovered that feeding blueberries to lab rats slowed age-related loss in their mental capacity, a finding that has important implications for humans. So right now, the study is done on rats, but possibly in the future we can have clinical trials for humans to see if it can actually reduce the age-related loss in mental capacity for humans as well. So it could be another good finding that can be, implicated for humans. So you can see that blueberries not only can help reduce the risk of having heart diseases or cancers, but also it can reduce your risk of having Alzheimer's disease, which is a combination of good effects in total. Next one, we're going to take a look at other common food items, cocoa beans or chocolate, which is very easy to find every day. Cocoa beans is also traditionally known to be rich in polyphenols, such as cyanidine monomers and oligomers. There's also a lot of information and research that could show that the flavonoids in cocoa beans have strong antioxidants in vitro. So we realize that by simply consuming cocoa beans-based products such as chocolate or cocoa powder, you can have a stronger antioxidant for the human body, which is generally beneficial overall. And also some additional studies show that consumption of flavonoids-rich foods such as cocoa-based products and chocolates may be associated with the reduced risk of vascular diseases. So this is a very general term, which means that it can reduce your chance of having coronary heart diseases or stroke or generally blood vessel-related diseases. So you can see that by consuming dark chocolate or cocoa powder-based products, you can reduce your risk of having these diseases later on in your life. So you can see that some of the small habits and change of habits can help you with your health in the future. The third type of food items we're going to mention are very general. We're going to talk about fiber. So we consume fiber daily for health purposes, and the dietary fiber can be classified into two categories in general. We have the soluble fiber, which is soluble in water, and also you have the insoluble fiber as well. And both types serve very important roles for human health. So in general, the soluble fiber can help maintain a healthy blood sugar level as well as cholesterol level for human health. And on the other hand, the insoluble fiber can increase the water binding capacity of feces and softening stools. So in this case, it can help you maintain a very healthy bowel movement for regular, digestion and excretion. So soluble and insoluble fiber are very easy to find in everyday food items. You can find soluble fiber in foods such as orange and apples. And insoluble fibers are mostly in grains, cereals, and wholemeal foods. So they are very easy to consume. The fourth category we're going to cover are a little bit further than the food. It's more about the spices and herbs. As you can see that we not only use them for cooking purposes, but more and more spices and herbs are used for energy drinks and various types of dietary supplements for its usages. The first one we're going to take a look at is ginger, which is traditionally used for cooking in Oriental area. The active ingredient in ginger is called gingerol, which can relax blood vessels, stimulate blood flow, and relieve pain. So these basic functions can be applied in other scenarios as well. For example, research has shown that ginger can be used to reduce motion sickness and nausea and inhibit vomiting. This can be used for people with certain type of diseases or suffering from morning sickness, or if they are cancer patients going through chemotherapy, they can use ginger to reduce the side effects as well. Apart from that, ginger can also be used to give people more energy and also reduce the fatigue from work daily. So ginger can be used for various purposes in energy drinks and supplements nowadays. Next one is something that's very common for all of us, cinnamon, which is very widely used for bakery products to give that very unique flavor for the bakeries. And also it can be used in food items to simply increase their shelf life, because in the old days, we didn't have very good storage conditions for food items. So for some of the bakery products, they use cinnamon intentionally to increase the shelf life, so food can be stored for a longer time. So let's take a look at the function of cinnamon. So cinnamon is an antimicrobial food that can stop the growth of bacteria, so that's why it was used traditionally to preserve the food for a longer time. It can also reduce the growth of fungus and yeast. For the health function, it has anti-clotting and anti-inflammatory properties, which is very important for reducing certain types of heart diseases, which also helps prevent unwanted clumping of blood platelets. So you can see that apart from the flavor and preservation functions of cinnamon, it can also help you reduce the chance of having heart diseases, which is kind of interesting and requires more attention for research as well. So those are some of the examples of the conventional or basic types of natural functional foods. So let's take a look at the next slide, guys. Now, if you guys still remember, the second type of functional food we covered is actually fortified food items, which means commercially available food items that are processed by us. So if you say, for example, made a conventional food and you want to put into the supermarket shelf in Calimax, then you're going to have a little food labeling, right? So that's the second topic we're going to cover, the importance of functional foods and health labeling. Let's take a look together. So healing power of food is a popular concept and focuses on the superfood can have health protecting properties. So people always believe that, hey, if you have this healthy functional food and put on the shelf of supermarkets, it's going to be good. And then we're going to write something on the packaging. So it's both good and bad because it depends on how the food manufacturers market their food items. Let's take a look at one example. So here we have a very common statement. Cereal is a significant source of fiber. True or false in your opinion? Yeah, it depends, right? So if you say, for example, if you have some whole wheat or whole grain cereal, it definitely has a significant amount of fiber, obviously. Now, however, on the other hand, if you consume a whole lot of sugary and really refined cereal, that type of product doesn't contain as much fiber as we expected. So it really depends on the actual food product, right? So studies have shown that an increased amount of fiber in one's diet can decrease the risk of certain types of cancer in individuals. So we do have the scientific evidence for that, and also we have the statements like that on everyday packaging that really leads us to think whether we should purchase this type of product or not. So it poses several questions for us. Let's take a look at it together. So at the end of the day, people might ask, are functional foods safe to consume? So that will be a question for everybody around the world. Now let's break the question down into some of the smaller questions. Now first question we're going to ask to us is, does functional food actually work? Now we have to pay attention on the nutritional labels of these functional foods to see how much beneficial ingredients the food contains. Now some of the products only contain a fraction or a small amount that are actually beneficial. So if we consume that food item, it's not going to provide enough benefits for us. So it really depends on how much beneficial ingredients it has within the packaging. And the second question we're going to ask is actually about the safety. Is it going to cause any adverse or bad effects on our health? So say for example, many of the dietary supplements use herbs or other ingredients that are not tested for government approval. In this case, it could be controversial to see if they have a positive or negative effect on our health. Some of the herbs are beneficial, others still require more testing. So in this case, if a food item contains some of the ingredients that are controversial, then these kinds of functional foods still requires more investigation. At the end of the day, it's important to make sure that the functional foods are healthy with adequate nutritional density. For example, if you have a food item that is saying that they have a lot of calcium fortified, but it also contains a lot of sugar and water, it's definitely not healthy. So we have a statement here saying that fortified junk food is still junk food. So even if with a whole lot of marketing and labeling, if they still have some of the ingredients that are not healthy, it's still junk food. And also, in the meantime, we require the support and also legislation from various countries to pay more attention to the statements they put on functional foods to make sure and help the customers to find the correct food items to choose. Let's take a look at some of the examples. So no matter how impressive looking a functional food's name or package claim, check the nutrition facts label before deciding whether it's good for you. For example, if you go to the supermarket and buy some of the cereal products, you may find a whole lot of statements such as fortified with vitamin A, vitamin D, and iron. You're like, okay, that sounds good. It's going to help me with my health. But at the end of the day, you're just getting a whole lot of sugary carbohydrates, which is no good at all. And back in history, they even have vitamin-fortified donuts, which apparently is not anything healthy at all. So you can see that it requires the cooperation of corporations with the government legislation branches to create statements that are not misleading for the consumers. So yeah, this one is similar to the previous slide. So you can see that in general, foods based in their nature forms, such as fruit and vegetables, whole grain-based products, not just refined carbohydrates, beans, legumes, and low-fat milk and yogurt are packed with nutrients and other phytochemicals that can reduce the risk of cancer and various types of diseases, such as heart disease, high blood pressure, and eye diseases. So you can see that natural food items are easier to differentiate. However, with the manufactured or processed products such as chips, candy bars, and cookies, even if they might be labeled as fat-free or low salt or contains no preservatives, they're still junk food. So that's something we gotta keep in our mind too, because as time goes by, food manufacturers are smart and they would like to label their food items as low in salt, low sugar food items, but it's still not giving you any benefits. So that's something we have to pay attention to and make the correct decision. So as we can see that functional foods do have great potential for developing and improving human health in the future. You can see that we have two sides, the conventional food items, which requires more research to see how much benefit we can get out of it. And also you have, on the other hand, the artificial or fortified food items. It requires more processing technology to see how much additional value and nutrients we can add to an existing food item. The subject of health claim is becoming increasingly important. So as we mentioned previously, how the food companies should label their food items. Can they put a health statement on their food packaging? That requires a lot of more investigation and more development as well. Try not to mislead the customers. In addition, it poses more research opportunities in nutrition to explore the relationship between food items and also nutrients. And one step further, how these nutrients would help us to reduce the risk of diseases. So you can see that traditionally we investigate the relationship between food and nutrients, but now and in the future, we're going to see what kind of effect it will have on human health. So it will have a more direct impact on human health in the future. So there lies a lot of opportunities for you guys to research in the future. And the last one, education and communication with the general public is also very important. It's important to tell the truth to the general public. What kind of information should they look at the food packaging? What sort of nutrient information they should check at the nutritional panel? So in that way they can make better decisions and not be misled by some other food manufacturers. So you can see that that's the summary of the functional foods, which is a very wide range of foods. If you are interested, you can definitely go online and search more about it. It's a very large area. It's good for research, business, and also future development. Thank you so much for your time. Any questions, let me know. Thank you. Sorry, the teacher just asked me to read the minutes, all right? Okay. Gives a nutrition presentation, lists of hot dogs and ramen. So it's comer los hot dogs y ramen después de presentación de nutrición. Ask you to read it. So, do you guys have any questions? Let me know. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Tengo una pregunta, pero mi pronunciación es muy buena. No sé si... ok. Muchas veces es como mercadotecnia que le añadan nutrientes a la comida. Entonces quiero saber si, por ejemplo, en la leche que está con calcio, ¿realmente lo aprovechamos o eso solo se desecha?
Right. So you're talking about sometimes the food manufacturers are telling us they have nutrients in the food, but is it true or not? For example, the milk, does it have calcium? Is that your question?
No, this question is related to the fact that like milk, you add some calcium. Mm-hmm. Is it benefit for the body of the person, or it just goes away
Yeah, so in this case, by fortifying milk, you do provide additional benefits. Now, we all know that milk is a good source of calcium. For us young people, it's already good enough. If you consume enough milk, you get enough calcium. It does not go away as much as we expected. The retention or absorption of calcium in young people's gut is all good. You can absorb enough calcium for regular milk. Now, when you talk about adding more calcium or fortifying more calcium to milk, it's another topic. Is it good? Yes, it is good, because actually you have more calcium in the milk. But is it useful for us young people? Not necessarily. Is it used for old people? Yes, it is. Why? Because for older people, the storage of calcium in their bones and their body is much lower than us. So after the age of 55, say for example, your storage of calcium is going down. So in that case, if you fall down, you're going to break a bone. If you fall down now, it's fine for your bones, right? So for the older people, it's very important to consume milk with fortified calcium. So in that case, they will absorb more calcium, and then it will help them reduce the loss, the bone loss or the calcium loss. But for young people, if you drink normal milk, you will get sufficient amount of calcium, and it will not go away. Thank you. Any other question? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Una aportación. La realidad es que el calcio, el calcio no se comienza a absorber bien en las mujeres después de los 30 años. Por lo tanto, el tomar suplemento de calcio, todo hombres y mujeres, debe de ser desde los 30 años para arriba. Si no, no alcanzan, la pérdida de calcio supera las expectativas por los cambios hormonales del envejecimiento. Entonces, en la actualidad son 30 años cuando ustedes deben comenzar a aumentar la cantidad de calcio, asolearse más, tomar vitamina D, etcétera, tomar todo lo que requiere la persona de calcio.
Yeah, exactly. That's a very good point here. So the balance of calcium in the human body is changing as you age, like what the professor mentioned earlier. Actually, you have the ingestion of calcium, you consume the calcium, and you have the excretion of the calcium. The calcium goes out. Normally, it should remain a balance, right? As you grow, for example, you grow from 10 years to 20 years, and you reach the year of 22, the level of calcium in your body reaches the highest level, and it remains a plateau. It's not going to go up, it's not going to go down, it's going to stay stable. So as you age, the level is going to go down. So it's really important as young people like you guys to increase your level of calcium. And as you guys mentioned earlier, if you reach a higher level of calcium at a younger age, you have more calcium to lose when you grow older. So it's very important to reach a higher level of calcium at a younger age. So you can either use high calcium or calcium fortified products, or you can have more exercise to help you have stronger bones. Additionally, you can have more vitamins that can help you with better calcium absorption. As we age, yes, it's really difficult to maintain a higher level of calcium absorption, and we have higher level of excretion of calcium. So it's really important to maintain a higher calcium level at a younger age. And when we reach older age, have some more calcium fortified products. That's very important too. Thank you so much, guys. Muchas gracias.
Tenemos el reconocimiento del doctor Martin Roy por su participación como ponente con el trabajo de tecnología en alimentos. Muchas gracias.